Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are going to be finishing up some rail projects. Well, project anyway. But gonna go through the process of laying beta track. Well, track on the beta, of course, that's just kind of the one I run nowadays. So that's obviously what we're replacing our track on. So I figured this is a not a super long path, basically, excuse me, on the way back from the ironworks to the freight depot, so it would just be something that's not like super long to put on film, because I know like trying to do track laying videos can sometimes get a little crazy and monotonous, just long and boring, let's be honest. But being that there are new people out there to the beta and you do get asked about your process of laying track and stuff like that, so I figure, I want to show some. So this video is basically just, for those who like the track laying. So if you're not one of those, sorry, this is not going to be a super big run loco episode, but we'll get back to doing that soon enough. We have some, a lot of new track to put some heavy stuff on, so that's going to be the goal really soon. And with this track, I think what I'm going to try to do here is we're just going to delete it all pretty much at one time and then run a new spline. I think we're just going to try to keep it basically as tight to the other rail that's laid there as we can, and see how well we can pull off a double track through here. I had thought about reducing it down to one track, but I do like having the option of turning a locomotive around basically by running it through the freight depot on either one of these rails. So I'm keeping it in the layout. I'm probably going to go back after running some open track multiplayer stuff. I think I'm going to go back really and double most of the track that used to be double anyway, just for convenience and running multiple locomotives. I mean, that was the original idea of having the dual track in the places that we had it, so that multiple locomotives wouldn't get caught up into each other. And I think we'll be heading back to that direction of track laying for the main lines. I don't think any of the industries will probably do too much doubling with, but jeez, just deleting this. You look at how many pieces of track and groundwork were actually in all this. And this is just simple track. That's the big advantage, I think, to running the beta when you're running multiplayer, is that there really is so many less pieces of track and stuff that the game probably has to interact with. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my guess as to why the betas run smoother than the main branch too. After having tested out the multiplayer, I was pretty pleasantly surprised with how that all ran. It was pretty smooth running with 3 people in there, that's for sure. So how I tend to lay track, I look for the link, I grab it. This is freehand version, keep in mind, or my version of freehand rail. You come off with the 4 or 6 in here. I generally tend to change the grid to 1. That gives you a little, more control, finite. You can get the angle you want, basically, And we'll make sure we're at 0% grade, because this should all be nice and flat. And then I just wing it, really. Generally speaking, I decide where I kind of want it to come through. Like now this one, I don't really want it to curve much in there. So if you pre-curve it before you lay it, it will do just that. This I kind of pretty much want straight until we get out to the trees, which we've cleared the trees in there, and we're generally straight. So I'm happy with that. If you lay the track backwards, I think is honestly the easiest way to lay this stuff. If you really want to get it to lay at a certain spot anyway. If you lay it going backwards like this, you know, you're looking at exactly what you're going to get out of it all the time. So then you can turn around and come in, bend it, you know you're going to want that kind of an angle, and then just keep coming back with it until it looks the way you want it. And then, you know, bang. Just easy. That's kind of the big luxury with this track. And then you can obviously run these splines out much longer. The shorter you run them, the easier it is to control your angles and stuff. So then here we have our nice curve that we're pretty happy with. If we can finish it decently without running into this. So then we'll just kind of bring it, turn around to make sure that we're not doing what we shouldn't do until we get going far enough. Walking backwards is always great because you have no idea what you're running into, but so we'll just kind of throw one more spline in here backwards where we can see that everything's nice and lined up and close. So that's how we want it. I want it to be like actually close, like that. I want it to be close, I think. Yeah, because it just looks better. And then from here we can kind of just run it out. But then where we want to keep it close, I'm going to keep turning around on this one just to make sure that these splines are running close together the way I want it to, because I don't want to get stupid wonky gaps in there. Oh, we're going to end up with a little bit anyway. No. Let's go. There we go. We're pretty close. I don't know what I'm too worried about. Honestly, this is why I usually don't tend to keep them that close, because it just gets to be a pain in the butt when you're actually laying the track. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. Now they've been pretty close together. So now I think we're just going to do a general job of trying to keep them close together, because I guess I'm not digging super laying them that tight. Wasn't exactly sure. But I think in general, I'm probably happier just laying like this. A little bit of curve into it. And then one thing I always do with this is step off it anyway. So I guess spinning around to make sure that the spline is in good shape maybe is the way to go. Because I guess I do want to keep this looking a certain way. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, that's pretty close. Should be good. I mean, that's a fairly lengthy spline. You know, the longer you make the splines, the harder it is, obviously, to get them to line up super close and tight to something, and I guess that's pretty close enough. I generally don't get this picky about laying rail, but, you know, I guess I was trying to do something maybe a little more organized just to show it. But I don't know. It seems like I'm getting too picky about the rail. So what I'm gonna do is wing it, because that's just how I like to do it. Maybe being real. Alright, so. Whoa. Lost it all over the joint. Oh, why'd you do that? Yeah. That's good enough. I didn't really want to break the spline here, though. I wanted it to turn. See it, I guess. Now in the turn, I gotta get a little bit more. Run up here and take a look at how it's coming around the turn. Alright, get out of this spline. Just gonna keep it easy through this turn. Nice. I'm actually happy with that. Boom. We do want this one to curve. Of course, that other track is spline too, so this one really shouldn't have a hard time turning inside of that. I bet you this is probably just easier. Nice thing is we are laying it on the way back to the locomotive, so when it's all said and done, yeah, see this one just on the outside is kind of kittywampus on that. But again, you know, this track does not have to be perfect. This whole thing has been hand free laid anyway like this. And I don't know why I gotta get too crazy about it right now, so I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna flop it in here. Because you can flop this stuff in pretty fast and still keep it pretty darn good looking. Ooh, wait a minute. We don't want to do what we're doing there. We're gonna get all stupid. Alright, so then step off to the side. Lock that in so we don't get stuck in the dirt. That's fine. We want a nice clean run around the turn. Let's make sure that we're getting. It's pretty easy, like especially if you're laying two of these, or one next to another, if you will, that you just turn around and all of a sudden push it over like this, and then you'll be like, you know, obviously you wreck your quarter. So these I do tend to turn around, take a look back, just save the headache. Alright, boom, that got us around the curve. Just run it down. Now you can lay the splines way faster than you can even run, so. Dev speed is a toss-up, I guess. It's nice sometimes when you're like working on stuff or you need to catch a locomotive. But then too, it also is, ooh, we don't want to do that. If you curve it too soon, then the track will auto curve itself, and like it will not be running alongside your other track that you think it's running alongside. Alright, we're good with the way that lays. They're about to split up anyway. Hey, click. Alright. Push on before, get that to wrap that way. Woo. Sorry about that camera flipping there. That one's a little rough. Alright. Bend the curve out a little more. Alright, that looks like about as much as it wants to give us and keep anywhere in the vicinity of where we want it. And then this one, I think we're just gonna kind of do a departure at this point. That way we can get a decent curve into the... In fact, we should actually lay the other... The other curve is the one that's probably the problem here. So we're not gonna go with the problem. Do a little bit of straightening out as we go here. Somewhere like there, looks like it should be decent. We'll go up here, grab it from the other end. Oh, I guess we don't even need to. How does that? I mean, I do like this one is much smoother. That other one is, oops, I didn't grab this off. Alright. Have to drop a few more trees, but that line actually should be smoothed out to this line. I mean, this line's running much straighter. That one's all kitty-wampus, so I'm not going to lay in a new track to go to one that's crooked. Yeah, that should... I'll have to fix that inside run. That thing is just bent, but that was some of the first... I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not too sure where I laid that in the spline. I know I wasn't getting any great results out of the spline stuff when I first started laying it, as far as like making it prettier where I wanted it. It was kind of wandering all over the place. Now I got a little better control of it and can get it a little more where I want it, you know. Freehand, I'm not gonna say I'm a track expert because it's not my thing, you know. That's no way. I mean, I've been playing the game long enough. Obviously, I've played some track, but I am in no way, shape, or form the track expert guy. Bang. Like that. That came out exactly how I wanted it. Now, if this will line up without being too stupid. As you said. If. Yeah, because how long is that spline? You know what? We're not going to take a chance. So, what we'll do is we'll delete that one, unfortunately, and we will grab this one here. And we'll take it this way. Woohoo. Rotate back. And the only problem with this is because it's laid in the opposite direction. I guess I'm not totally sure with the new splines, but I'm pretty sure it's still like when it comes to re-railing a track or a train or something, it re-rails in the direction you lay it. So we laid this track in that direction. If we put a locomotive on here, the head of the locomotive will be pointed that way. Unless you lay it, quote unquote, backwards. Because the locomotives and the stock rail in the direction that you laid the track. At least that's my understanding. Alright, we'll grab a little wood. Boom, boom, boom. This is getting to be about the last of the work that we actually have to do as far as track replacement, and then after that it's just back to making some loot. I noticed Montezuma, like when you drop into the driver's view, it drops you like right down on the track. I don't know if the other ones do because I haven't run a bunch of them on the new spline, so I can't say that. They might all drop you down like that. I've just noticed with Montezuma. Ooh, look at that. Disconnected. Why do you always disconnect? I don't know if anybody else having that, but it seems like every time I get in a Montezuma, the thing is disconnected. Or want to come disconnected as soon as I get in it. That's not the first time. Obviously, it's been on videos. I know the viewers have seen it before. So it seems like Montezuma comes derail or it detaches itself all the time. Note to self: check the pins on Montezuma before you move her because chances are it's not hooked up. Crash test dummy. Wow, we caught that out on the end. Yeah, check that out. They are nowhere near hooked up. That is so cool. Alright. Like it. That's pinned. That's really cool. We got that thing way back there. I like it better like that than when it's jammed up close to the borders, actually. That's cool. Alright, let's go see if the new track works. Now that we threw it in here. What's your beef? Brakes are off. What's going on? Alright, hold up. I'll see what's going on. Oh, because I threw that. I got you. Gotcha. There you go. I always listen to the locomotive. It'll tell you what your problem is. Here we go. Well, she puffing a lot of smoke. Steam, not smoke. Speaking of which, I would really like to see us get the chug from the old beta. Yeah, look at how, wow, that's bent. So that's gotta be a fix-it. That's a fix-it for sure. This one is much smoother, much better. See, that's the difference between when you start laying beta and when you get better at it. Right there. This is crooked, this is not. But that's the difference, you know, where the old stuff, the old stuff, if you laid it bad, it simply was ugly. Ugly. This part of the track should be really cool if we are running it multiplayer, just to get two of them passing by each other as close as some of this is. Should be actually be pretty fun to try to see whether they just bash into each other or not. I mean, I wouldn't think so. I think they're far enough apart, but that rail's pretty close in there. So I think the little bit of gap is probably good. Still gotta get rid of all this track yet from the rest of the yard. Though I think we still actually have some locomotives in that shed, so I have to dig those out and figure out what we're gonna do with those. It's totally gonna be a push out to the coal mine next to get the route pretty much finished. So we're gonna have to come all the way down to bypass and get that running so we can actually get back to hauling loads, make some money. I think we're getting down there. I don't even know how much money I got on this one. Oh, like 33,000. Yeah, really, running pretty low is the true deal there. So we will be back to making money soon. This part of the track is about perfect spaced as far as I'm concerned for the dual rail. Really should have stuck with that, but get a little too time consuming to get nitpicky when you come to watching the video. So we'll have to see how it is. If this isn't too sharp. That actually wrapped pretty good there. That looks good. And then that pulls us up to the freight yard, in which I think we will probably call this one. Boom. Brakes are on. There we go. Well, we got it to the station anyway. Not that I tend to come to the depot very often, but there we go. So, there for the people who asked about some track laying, there's some simple beta track laying, how I do it, and the method behind my madness anyway. And I think we'll call that one a win. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.